Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, we never speak. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his servant and messenger. I am Sister Charlene Muhammad, co-host of Liberated Sisters. Today we have the feedback line. Our guest is Brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad. We will have more about Brother Abdul Qiyam in just a few moments. I want to bring in our co-host, Brother Sultan Muhammad, right now. And right after Brother Sultan greets you, I want to play a video from the Rockwell radio show. We are on the Closing the Gap network. We are so honored to be here on the Closing the Gap broadcast network. And Brother Rockwell also, the Rockwell radio show also broadcasts on Closing the Gap. And I just love the way that our brother and his team presented Brother Abdul Qiyam, who deserves a very well presentation. And so we're going to be speaking about the Holy Day of Atonement, feedback from that message for the 28th anniversary, as well as the launch of a beautiful new book. And the first volumes of that book are still hot, but we have another set. And so, Brother Sultan, come in, let us have your opening remarks, and then I would love to play a small snippet from Brother Abdul Qiyam's presentation on the Rockwell radio show. And we're going to be taking your questions for our brother as well. Brother Sultan, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is his great servant. I bear witness that we are the children of God. I am very anxious to get to our brother. I have been blessed over several years to have been a personal assistant to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, to be also a part of the research group, and then really just to try to do whatever it is that I can. But I'm more happy today because I can be a part of one of the greatest witness bearers and one of the greatest recorders
That's right.
in the history of the world because of the voice of God that he records. So I'm anxious to get to Brother Qiyam.
Oh, praise.
Please play what you would like to play.
I will. Thank you. And I'm so familiar with Brother Sultan. Thank you for letting people know who you are and just a little bit about what you do for our nation. But here we go. Let's, before we bring in Brother
Enter into the world of ideas.
Commander in tweet. Brother Abdul Qiyam came and sat in the interview seat. When he first heard the minister, he didn't have to look no more. He said,
I found the father I've been looking for.
To fight the public school trash.
I had to find a call paper in my book, reading it in class.
And if you ask, he would let you know we are with this man, rushing the court just to
get on the witness stand.
Too important for us to miss this. Brother Qiyam will quote the minister with the quickness. And for us who've been with him for years, he said,
I'm surrounded by too many silent, weak witnesses.
Being righteous is not a death wish. It's an honor to be added to that guest list. And when it gets rough, don't get restless. He said,
if you're following Jesus, you should expect this. It's in a format like daily bread.
The Teachings 2.0, things that the minister said. Over 5,000 questions on Twitter. 2 volumes so far, they'll make your life richer. He's not pulling things from his own environment, no.
The minister gave me an assignment.
Affected by the minister's words like no other.
That's not a lightweight thing, dear brother. If you having down moments, believer,
get up from grief.
Look at your teacher.
You couldn't dream of a better wish. It's a labor of love.
I have to do this.
So if your great thoughts are clouded by fear, go to
Q video.
It'll help you get clear. Check every clip of the minister you can hear. Come on and
enter into the world of ideas.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that wonderful? Brother Rockwell radio show. That was so off the chain. Here's Brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad.
Oh, praise to Allah.
I just love how he presented you there, and shout out to them. Brother Abdul Qiyam, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, family. This is Charlene and Brother Sultan. I am definitely indeed honored to be on this platform with you two I greatly admire in our nation.
It is so good to have
Praise
you.
be to
And
Allah.
likewise, yeah, praise be to Allah. You know, we go way.
Way back.
The three, of us. And thank you for taking time. When I saw you doing interviews again, I said, oh, we can get back in. We were doing the Farrakhan Factor. As a matter of fact, Brother Abdul Qiyam helped me so much. Liberated Sisters, actually, and the feedback line, especially too, will not necessarily be a thing because Brother Abdul Qiyam, Sister Sharifa, his beautiful wife, really helped me out over the years, just in terms of my desire and also my passion to do what was it to kind of cover more in terms of what we were writing in the Final Call newspaper. I wanted to see how could I support that, and I was approached with doing broadcast radio on the Pacifica Network, and Brother Abdul Kian was one that I called. I said, hey, we have this opportunity. How can we use it? Because I'm not really interested in broadcast. I have a student assignment. This is what we do. So he was one of the advisors. Sir?
You could have fooled me.
Right.
All praise due to Allah. Well, I wanted to be a TV anchor, but anyway, but a news anchor. But that he and a small few others advised, well, let's just use it to promote the Final Call and the work of those of our stars in the nation. And so Brother Abdul Qiyam has been there all the step of the way. And at one point, he was actually doing a complete segment, regarding the feedback, and especially with the Twitter town halls and the Teachings 2.0 and on and on and on about what he does to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So he's back here tonight.
Praise be to Allah.
To give us feedback. We know that we had the Holy Day of Atonement 28th anniversary message, and Brother Student Minister Ishmael Muhammad delivered a beautiful message in a beautiful way from Farrakhan. And so I'm doing what I said I wouldn't do. Brother Sultan takes this over, but we have two parts tonight. And so the second part, we're going to talk about the Teachings 2.0. But Brother Sultan, you take it away with Brother Abdul Qiyam, and I'm going to go talk to the people.
She'll be back. Don't worry about the Qiyam. She will be back.
I know.
And, just for the benefit of the audience and the people, there's nothing like speaking to someone who is convicted, a convicted believer. Brother, each time I see you, you see the conviction, the determination, the joy, the happiness, and the fight. Oh, yeah, brother, you got a lot of fight in you, brother, that our brother puts forth to do what it is that Allah has blessed him to do. And it is, in fact, one of the dearest, most precious, most valuable, really, brother, contributions that we have today here in the Nation of Islam, because what you record is the voice of God. And in these 2.0 and now the additional 2, which represents really, pen, ink. There's not enough that could exhaust it. And to hear from him, and for you to bear witness to something, brother, that happens all over the world, and that is, people they ask about, does he answer all the questions that he's asked, in the world? Because you all are traveling to all these different places or whatever. My answer, not only have I never heard him fail to respond properly, but to respond profoundly.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And when you, brother, see, this is, I'm going to give a little peep. I got it.
Come on now.
I'm going to give a little peep. When you go into these,
I'm jealous. I'm going to get mine in a
minute. When you look at these volumes of books, and they are volumes because they carry the word of God. And there is not a question, of course, that we could ask and not find something in his words that will be a balm to whatever the sicknesses are
That's right.
that we have.
Mhm.
Because through and from Master Fard Muhammad, through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a man who only had graduated the 4th grade,
Hmm. Hmm.
science, math, physics, anthropology, anatomy, all of the sciences, and then mathematics, which ask you how many how many atoms are in a tenth of a cubic inch.
Mm.
So I just present that little simple thing to all the scientists of the mathematicians of the world and scientists of the world. And when you know how to answer that question, then you can enter into the class that our children are in.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about, and I think about this, whether you are in the nation, whether you believe or not believe, brothers and sisters, these books will teach you. As a matter of fact, Brother Kiam, tell us how this goes and how much time is given to each question. Tell us first, because we've heard it so many times, but there are many who have not. How did you get started with this?
All praise is due to Allah. You know, first I want to thank our beloved, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, for allowing me and us just to strive to serve and help him in the hardest job given to any man in the annals of history. I had no idea, nor was I seeking such an assignment. I came up through the ranks like every other soldier, as a private soldier working, soldiering in the streets, holding posts, even being blessed to hold posts on the minister's door. That's when you was running the operation. Yes, brothers and sisters, Brother Sultan had to teach me and Brother Ray a lot of things on that doorpost.
All praises to God.
So
Guess
I
who taught me?
has always wanted to serve and just work and help here at Muhammad Mosque number 45. But fast forward, I wrote the minister a letter at the end of December 2009 about some things and what I desired to do. I was talking to him about blogging and Twitter and Facebook, and the minister didn't know what none of that stuff was. Right. But in January, I was sitting in my home office thinking about what I was going to do next and helping him with all these tools that I studied, and the minister called me. And I had no idea he had my number, but I had put my number in the letter. And when I answered the phone, yes, may I help you? And at that time, I was Brother Jesse. He said, Brother Jesse, I said, yes, how may I help you? It was a 773 number. I didn't have it saved. He said, this is Brother Farrakhan. How are you, brother? And my voice cracked, Sister Charlene. Don't laugh at me. I said, the minister?
Right.
I would have passed out.
I was, and I said, he said, yes, this is Brother Farrakhan. How are you doing? I grabbed all the paper off my printer and grabbed the nearest Sharpie. That conversation changed the trajectory of my Islamic life.
That's right.
Come on.
Because he gave me an order of something he wanted me to do, and that was he wanted me to go back to the Final Call newspaper. I'm not going to get into all of the whole story, but he said, but if you have something better to do, then I'll consider it. And I didn't even hesitate, Brother Sultan. I said, I only want to do what you want me to do,
That's
sir.
right.
And he said, that's the answer I was looking for.
Come on.
And from that time, he just started calling me and feeding me and talking to me about he needs strong witnesses. I don't know why he just kept saying, I got too many silent witnesses, brother. I need you to tell the people how I am in private so they know I'm the same man in private as I am in public. And so I started testifying because he told me to do it. I did not know, Brother Sultan, the kind of problems it was going to cause me. Wait a minute, brother. Security, soldier. Be careful what you're sharing, soldier. I wouldn't say nothing. I would go back and share with the minister. Brother Minister, people are saying that I shouldn't testify like this. He started laughing, Brother Sultan, and say, that's good, brother. Keep doing it. See, the minister, I didn't know. He said, you're a chess piece in my hand, brother.
Woo, come on.
All praises due to
Go
Allah.
ahead, brother.
First time I've said that publicly. He said, "You're a chess piece, and it's a blessing to have a submissive chess piece
Yes.
in the hand of a master that's trying to move other pieces on the board."
Yes.
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa.
I had no idea. I'm just striving to submit. And so March
Teach the rest of
2011,
us.
we was in Jackson, Mississippi for that conference, and everything went uphill from there. He asked me about the presence of the Nation of Islam on social media, on the internet rather. I couldn't believe he asked me that. And Brother Don Enoch and Brother Chris on the E team, they were the only two brothers present for this conversation. They all and I said, "Oh, Brother Minister, we have a wonderful presence." And Brother Don and Brother Chris said, "Yes, sir, Brother Minister, it's true." He said, "How do you all know?" They said, "We on Facebook." And the minister said, "How you all got time to be on Facebook?"
Right.
You know, and I said these words. The only thing we missing is an official Twitter account of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And in the divinely inspired moment, this is where we got to be clear, brothers and sisters. We cannot say the minister divinely guided in everything and leave out his impact on social media and how it got started. Because in that instant, he didn't even know what Twitter was. He said, "Well, set it up, brother." And I said, "Sir, you know, you got to make sure, Brother Sutil, your good ear working."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you get him instruction, he said, "Well, set it up, brother. And if anybody asks you who told you to set it up, you tell them I told you." All I need to hear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But in my heart, I was afraid because I was like, when you move out on what the commander in chief tell you to do, it may not be in cohesive with what everybody else wants you to do. And everybody didn't know about social media. And so when we started the account, all heaven broke loose, I would say.
Yes, sir.
And that's how I got started. And then, as the minister's always desires of putting out the word of his father, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the eternal leader. That's all his heart is about, lifting up his father, lifting up his teacher. And the minister called me one day and I said, "Brother Minister, there's people asking you questions all around the world, Brother Minister. Would you like to start answering them?" He said, "What, brother? You mean to tell me that a person in Africa can ask me a question and I can sit here in my seat at the palace and answer them and they'll get it?"
Come on.
I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Oh, let's try that then." And that started March 30th, 2011, that journey, which has now led us now to this many years where our beloved minister has answered over 5,000 social media questions, Twitter, Facebook, and has never known one of the questions in advance. So we want you, brothers and sisters, you don't have to be in a headpiece and bow tie to feed from this bread of life. This is manna from heaven. We have witnesses of people who've not been in a nation that the minister's response stopped them from committing suicide via Twitter.
Yes, sir.
You know that this daily bread is for everybody because this is from the man who does not come in a page or a sentence, but the scripture said, "Lo, I come in the volume of the book." So it's only right that we release volumes of his sayings, his hadith, to feed us in this dispensation. And the beauty of it all is we're not going to have any skirmishes and sex and fights over these words because Muhammad is present to sign off on every single word that's printed.
Now, I want to ask one other question with respect to the time. How much time does he get to answer? First of all, let's repeat it, that he has never known any question that has been asked. Is that correct, sir?
That's 1,000% correct, sir. Never. He told me specifically in that instruction, don't email him the question in advance. He only wants to hear it when he talks to me on the phone for the first time.
All right. Now, and how much time does he have to answer for Twitter or for some of these platforms?
You know, the minister, he's always said that he's always wanted his students to see him in the role of a student. I've had a blessed ringside seat, Sister Charlene,
I know,
seeing the number one fighter as a student. Again, the minister did not know what social media was. So he would call me, Brother Sultan, sometimes at 10 o'clock at night 11 o'clock, you bet when you know the minister got
Yes, sir.
late nights, early mornings.
Yes, sir.
He would be on the phone with me for several hours trying to learn the technical jargon of social media. What is a tweet, brother? Okay, how many characters can I have per answer? When you post this and they retweet it, what does that mean? Where does it go? What are followers? What does it mean when you're trending? How do they rank that? He asked me all these questions to the point sometimes the executive council, they would call me and say, brother, what is the minister talking about? He was trending, brother. What does that mean? The minister started getting more technologically advanced than those younger than him because he's a student. So now the minister said he found out that it was 140 character limit at first, Brother Sultan. Now it's 280, but it's more than that now if you buy a subscription, you know, on X or Twitter, as they formerly called it. So it was only 140 characters. That's a good 2 sentences tops, brother. We talking about a man speak upwards of hours at a time. And when he would answer the questions early on, he would stick precisely to 1 sentence, 2 sentences. And if he felt, Brother Sultan, that he was going over, he would say, nah, I got to start over. Wow, I went too far. That was too long. And so the minister was striving to master short sentences. Oh, I hope we paying attention because somebody on the wheel spoke to him in short, cryptic sentences.
Come on.
So the minister was training himself to feed the masses in short, cryptic sentences. And isn't it something that the logo for Twitter previously was a bird?
And
come on now, read about Abraham. What did Abraham do with the bird? What does Jesus the Messiah in the Holy Quran do with a bird? So it's no accident here. So the minister feeding with short, cryptic sentences, striving to master it. And so for that long, he would literally spend an hour max answering questions, starting off with 10. Very quick. He would be very sharp with it. And brother, you know how he is, Brother Sultan. The minister don't waste time.
No,
so
sir.
If he want to start at 6 a.m., he's calling me at 5:58. I need to be ready. And he's getting started. He said, let's go, brother. Then it evolved to 30 questions in one session. Then 50. Then after he did the Ask Farrakhan town hall meeting, September 26, 2012, he started doing 75 in one phone call. But this is not just him at the house. This is sometimes him going from the farm to Chicago. He's in the vehicle answering questions right before his appointment. He's in trips going to the Caribbean. He went to Haiti, then Jamaica, and took a break in between to answer questions while he was traveling. So the minister has dedicated hours upon hours, sacrificed time to feed us from on high. And he has never shorted anybody, and I am a witness. Every single question that was submitted to him that he said he would answer, the minister has answered every single question, including the ones to his enemies. He has shied away from none, brothers and sisters. So this Jesus 2.0 is from
I want to add a little tidbit to that.
Come on now.
On the other hand, when we started determining what must be done, I think it was the first 14.
I'm gonna get some pictures.
There was nothing in front of him.
Come on now.
He would start with what he had to say, and he would do a perfect hour.
That's right.
Whatever the time, the mathematics of one's thinking, the science of it, and I was going to say, whatever you do, if you just read the questions and his answers and learn how to scientifically, whatever the subject is, for the scientists, for the chemists, for the teachers, for the students, whatever you're doing, read it and learn how to master the English language and do that within a specific time limit and then do it every time.
That's right.
Every time. So,
all praise due to Allah.
What was it like the first time?
Whew. Every time is like the first time. with him. Every single phone call with the minister is like the first time, I have to say. But that first specific Q&A, it was 10 questions. It's the first 10 questions of volume 1. I was a wreck, so nervous. I had never done anything like this before. I wasn't trained for it. I wasn't used to being on the phone with the minister for extensive times like that. I didn't know what device to connect to the phone. You know, this 2011, the phone technology wasn't as advanced then. So I'm thinking about how I'm going to record. And so I learned in studying our beloved Mel, I'll forever be pleased with her, Sister Ava. I started talking to her, getting coaching on writing shorthand and being a great note taker. So if something happened with the audio that we record and something missing, my hand is moving so I can fill in the gaps when we transcribe it early on. Because the early transcriptions was being done by me and my wife, Brother Sultan.
Yes.
My wife was actually pregnant with our son.
Come on.
She was feeding on this bread of life, and that's why the minister calls our son his Twitter baby.
I want to meet this child.
Tweets.
I'm serious. I would like to meet that baby.
Praise to Allah. So that first call, nervous, and the minister didn't play. Soon as we got on, he said, "You ready, son?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Let's get started." And the minister, I just give him the answer, and you could just feel Allah feeding him instantly in the moment to feed the people. And he was just firing and going and going. And after he did those 10, I had to transcribe it, send it back to him so he can read it to make sure his words are right. Because you have to remember, brothers and sisters, when you're around a master teacher, you got to be tested and tried now to see where your character is.
That's right.
Because we're talking about the thing that's most precious to him, his word.
That's right.
So you can't play with this. So he told me to send it. I had to send it to Sister Amina. She forwarded it to him. Then he approved it. She sent it back. You know, it was a long process in it. Then we would put it up on social media to the people that asked. But that first session, the minister was so excited, brother. So he said, "Oh, brother, I get a chance to use more avenues for the people to find out about my father."
That's right.
He said, "Brother, this is going to help free me out of prison." He already saw it and was feeling it. So after he did 10 more, another call. And when he decided to increase was when things kind of got busy and I didn't get the tweet answers up in a fast time, he called me. He said, "Brother, have you got any feedback yet?" This was the key part. Every time the minister would post answers, people would respond back. And the minister said that he never would receive that. Even from most of his student ministers, he said, "Most think because I'm a divinely guided man that I don't like feedback. I need the feedback because I'm a guided missile, brother.
Yes,
I got to see how Allah has used me." So I was sending feedback. And one of those times, it hadn't went up yet. And the minister said this, and I was so humble. He said, "Brother, you have already proven yourself to be trustworthy with my word. You don't have to send it to me no more. Just put it up, brother." Allah. And from that was after 3 months, by the grace of Allah. So that's how it started. And the minister at that same time started back on the college campuses. For those who are watching, our beloved minister was banned from the college campuses for decades.
That's right.
So 2011 started that when he was going back. And what a blessing it was, Brother Sultan. Within months of his Twitter account being launched, he came down to Houston, Texas.
Come on.
At Prairie View A&M University, where I went to school at.
That's
the minister was banned when I was at PV. So I was so happy he came and accepted that invitation. And that was the first time one of the minister's messages was live tweeted from a college campus at Prairie View, and the minister trended all over Prairie View, Texas.
Wow.
That's right. That's right. One other question, if I may, Sister Charlene, regarding that.
Yeah. And I want to bring a point up that Brother Abdul Qiyam is not talking about. Go ahead.
Okay. When you got off the phone, when you transcribed, when you read again what he said, what was your reaction?
to this very day, getting off the phone with the minister is like being plugged into the highest electrical energy. That even if the call is 60 seconds, the minister's divine energetic aura penetrates the phone. So those early times that I wasn't used to talking, I would always be breaking down crying, overwhelmed. Then I would try my best, Brother Sultan, try to psych myself out, like try not to think too much that, man, you just talk to the minister. Because brothers and sisters that are listening that's not in the nation, this ain't just like talking to one of your friends or your college classmates or your family members. We're talking about the man of God. And when you have come in contact with a man like this and understanding and striving to grow and seeing him through scripture, you know that out of 7 billion plus people on the planet, you are divinely and highly favored and blessed to receive a call from him anytime. So I was always overwhelmed, and I still am today. Then to transcribe it, to go back and read it, I'm crying again.
Right.
Because I'm saying to myself, oh, will the people believe that this man didn't know these questions in advance? Then when they get their response, to see their reaction, and I said, they didn't even know, the minister didn't even know these in advance. So here I am being able to witness how God feeds the minister instantly, brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
And so it overwhelms me. It touched my wife. That's why it went down into my son too. He loves the minister. And matter of fact, you talk about the time what must be done.
Yes,
He wasn't even one yet when that series started. But when that opening music would play at the time what must be done, he could be playing with something else, brother Susan. He would run to the laptop screen because he knew that intro music. So he was already, and our daughter too, she loves the minister as well. And he was gravitating to the minister like that from the tweets.
Yes,
so
sir.
Now it was feeding me, because of course you're listening on the phone, but also I'm listening to the minister's influx of his voice. If he get a question about the synagogue of Satan, you know he going hard, and I'm bearing witness. I'm trying not to be too loud. If he get a question about the sisters, he very soft and gentle. If somebody asks a question about Mother Khadijah, he's very meek and loving. So I'm getting all these different atmospheric changes of the minister's temperature on the phone. So when I go back and read, I'm like, oh my God. And I want you all to know, brothers and sisters, just yesterday, I was reading volume 1 of the Teacher 2.0. I don't want you all to think that I didn't got comfortable.
Come on.
Because I'm blessed to compile and have been on the phone with this. I'm still feeding on this and marveling every time, because now, years later, what he said in 2011 is coming to pass right before our eyes. So that's the beauty of it, in transcribing it, and then to be able to see the reaction of the people that get answers. And it's not just those outside the nation. Last I say this, Brother Sultan, you know, we as believers in the nation, many of us been in these ranks so long, we've always desired to ask the minister a question that's unfiltered. We have desired unfiltered access to our Father and get a question to him, and then we want it personable. It could be a sticky note. He answered me, you know?
Yeah.
So social media, Twitter opened up the door for the believing body to be able to ask their Father a question. And it's believers to this day who still got the screenshots of the minister's answers in their phone. They'll text them to me. They still post it on social media, because to get a exclusive answer to your question from the minister, it touched the Nation of Islam. So not only did this do something for the world outside, it did something internally for our nation.
When you were here, I said it was only one that I was doing, but
You got it.
when you were hearing
This is amazing.
his
All praise
question,
to Allah.
how happy, once you give him the question, how happy are you that you are giving him the question because you know something about the question?
I'm very excited. I'm so joyous because others got to remember, I've been on social media several years before the minister got on Twitter. And I was seeing people all the time asking, man, it would be great if the minister had a Twitter account. Man, when the minister gonna get on the Twitter account? When the nation gonna start using? So the people was hungry for it because I would post just quotes of the minister and his traveling schedule, and people would just flock to it. So knowing that the minister, first of all, he was happy to be getting questioned. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, ask me any question that you would ask God. Well, it's the same with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He didn't shy away from anything. So it was joyous to see him and hear him get excited over being questioned, because he loved to see how Allah will use him to feed the people. And then I would get all excited. My fingers would start tweeting before I got on Twitter, because I knew once the person got the response from the minister, they're going to immediately give feedback. And then knowing the joy of collecting the feedback and sending it to the minister, and he calls and get that reaction, which one of us don't want to make the minister happy? Which one of us don't want to help resurrect our people by feeding them the word? So this whole process has been so fulfilling to me. Like the scripture say, my cup has runneth over. So to this day, this is why, Brother Sultan and Charlene, nobody I've been criticized and mocked for my long reports and sending the minister all these pages and all these screenshots. It never got to me at all. You know why? Because with all that the minister has sacrificed, all that Mother Khadijah has sacrificed, the family, all that the soldiers in the nation have sacrificed. If little old Brother Abdul Qiyam can do one thing that makes the minister happy, and then he shares it with his wife, he shares it with the family, he shares it with the E-team, he shares it with others. Anything that we can do is help us to make that man happy. We shouldn't let nobody stop us.
Please forgive me.
No,
there's only one 911 I can have, and I have it.
Like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I saw him. I was trying not to put him on, but I saw he put his head up like this.
Oh, he put the church finger up. I saw it. I didn't know what that meant. I'm from the South. I should have known better.
Thank Allah. I'll be looking up and down, up and down. Brother Abdul Qiyam, thanks for what you're saying. It's resonating, and you were going into some of what I wanted to bring out, because you're so humble, and the work is about him. It's for him, and he's the light. And one thing I want to make sure to press upon people is that, being fearless, because I remember from the time social media hit, you were studying and you trained yourself, and you were saying, you even trained me, although I didn't pick it up as fast, and helped to train others. But I saw you and your family, and you learned what was this about, Twitter, what was all of that about. I mean, you showed us how to use TweetDeck and all of the different tools. You went into a serious study of the platform. And so because you were using it, you foresaw by Allah's grace and mercy what was coming. And I happen to know, many probably do too, some that you were tweeting from our beloved minister. And so it was like a natural progression. And certainly, as you were saying about some of the things you experienced, and when you wrote your letter, and then you got the great divine instruction, but you went forth. You went forth, and you'll forever be remembered as the lead who helped to break, get out of here, him out of this prison. As someone put, I think it was Sister Tawan had put it there. Yeah, Tawan, you were a part of freeing the minister, brother. I'll never, ever forget that.
All praise is due to Allah. I've learned from the minister that sometimes in the nation, we stress ourselves out trying to find our purpose, not knowing that we just strive to be right, just strive to be a good soldier, just strive to sacrifice. We have no idea how Allah is going to have our purpose find us. We don't know, when we striving to submit to the master teacher, how he will call us for a special service, because all I did was just want to work and want to help. Even when I was at Prairie View A&M University, my classmates know I was not the normal college student. I started back by the grace of Allah, the Nation of Islam Student Association, because I needed that protection around me. I'm at an HBCU. Come on, you all. So I wanted to share the teachings wherever I went. And I came in as those that was taught you have to study. So I've been always in love, thank Allah, for that angel of exquisite quality, Brother Minister Jabril Muhammad. I forever thank Allah for him because he's the one that taught me and so many of us to see the minister properly from scripture. So to be called and see or to be shown different tools to help the minister, to take our nation to other levels, I had to be fearless about it and not care about what anybody thought, because at the end of the day, if Allah wanted everybody to understand it, he would have gave them the assignment. And sometimes believers, you can't get so down on yourself when people criticizing you, or people talking down on things that Allah has given you the vision to help the minister in the righteous way. You got to have the courage to say, you know what? This man needs help, and he needs the best of help. And that's why Jesus had to ask the question, who are my helpers in the cause of Allah? Then he asked, who will be my helpers in the cause of Allah? So I had to take that attitude. I just don't care. I've seen how these can help. And then when the minister went on the radio in 2011 on the Cliff Kelly show, he said, I wish my brothers and sisters would help break me out of prison. Then I started listening to other lectures from the 80s, Sister Charlene, at the Final Call building. The minister was saying then, he said, they shouldn't be wondering about us around the world. I should be able to speak to the world. So the minister was already making a prayer that certain ones will be raised up to help him certain ways. When a man speaks things like that, he don't speak idle words. So those prayers are moving, and you don't know what certain soldiers are going to be touched by that prayer and raised up to help the man. But if that believer don't have it in their heart that regardless of what comes at them, I got to help the minister, then you're going to be falling off then. But I thank Allah that to a degree, I thank Allah, Homestead and Titwell didn't go away the way I was raised.
Lord,
I was raised in the streets as a fighter. I was not raised by my grandmother, my mother, or my siblings to be, excuse my language, to be a punk. I didn't come to the Nation of Islam to be punked. I came to the Nation of Islam to be made a man in the FOI class. So if a commander-in-chief said, I want you to do this, I can't be trembling about what other people think and their critique because they weren't called for it. So I encourage believers, take courage like our minister. What kind of courage did it take after our beloved brother Jabril came and got him? What kind of courage did it take for the minister to stand up and declare to the world that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is physically alive? So the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if I were you, minister, I would take pattern after him. Well, if the minister is the most courageous of all those that are courageous among us, then we got to take after him and be courageous when Allah calls us to our purpose. So I was hungry for this. My wife is a witness. I stayed up late. I was studying blogging, studying Twitter, studying Facebook. When I got on there, I studied the best white men around the world who had the best at it. Because once the minister got on, I've always never sat on my laurels. I've always wanted to get better and serve our nation better. So I thank Allah, praise be to Allah, for the minister's example. Because it's not me, it's him. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the minister is full of the fire of the Holy Spirit of Allah. Where if you're striving to line your mind up with his, then we should all stay lit. And this is why he told us on Saturday at the Nubian Leadership Circle. He said, whatever we're doing and we having some measure of success, he said, we got to pick up the pace and do it better. Well, what you think is on my mind? I was going to the post office today. Me and my wife was working to pick up the pace to put out these Twitter book articles. We can't rest. This man needs help, and he needs the best of help. So
come on.
I just don't play with this, brothers and sisters. I saw Deion Sanders and them. I didn't watch the game because I can't get too caught up in sport and play. But I saw that they lost that game. And Deion Sanders said something in the locker room. He said, the problem is you all like this and you don't love it. And he said, I got a problem with that because I don't just like this, I love it. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan does not just like the resurrection work. He's in love with it. So if we're going to be strong helpers, we can't just like coming out. We can't just like doing this. We got to be so in love with it that nobody can take us off our posts. So I'm striving to deepen my love.
Ooh. Ooh. Wait. What do you usually say? We can pass the plate. The church doors are now open.
All praise due to Allah.
When you use the man, look at this. But look, here's some of the comments. All praises due to Allah.
All praise due to Allah.
You're absolutely correct. Wow, I had a question, but you inspired me to show a clip that you have up just from Minister Farrakhan speaking at the Nubian Leadership Conference.
Yes.
Look, here's your wife to save me. Good looking out, Sister Sharifa. Thank you. Because while I get that, see, the co-host had a 911. Ooh, Brother Sultan really helped us open the show. Well, she has this question, and if you can, we can answer those. Then what I can do is play the 2-minute clip. But she asked, can you share at least 2 stories of the effects of the teachings 2.0 on our people who have received and read them? And we also have images of 3A, volume 3A and B, but there's the question, and I'll be back. Thank you, Brother Abdul Kian.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent question from my beloved wife. And I have to say, you all, as the minister said to all of us as brothers who are striving to help him, who are blessed to be married, we cannot do this without the sacrifice and support and help of our wives. And I am one of those that none of this would have been possible. None of these books, these tweets, these words. She still helps editing all the time. And she is a witness that every time we go to post to the minister's Twitter account on his behalf, I'm nervous to this very day. So I want to thank my wife for her sacrifice and my children in striving to help me to help our beloved minister. 2 stories that came to mind real quick. I got so many. When the minister first started answering questions, there was a pastor who was young, who wanted to overthrow the lead elder pastor in the church because that pastor didn't want to ordain him. And he was seeking the minister's guidance on how he should handle it. Do you all know that the minister guided him in a way to respect his elder pastor, but also balanced it and said that you don't have to seek to be ordained by anybody but God. And when God has ordained you, you got to move out on the word. This pastor started teaching more in the church because the way the minister guided him to handle his elder pastor, their relationship got tighter, and the elder pastor started allowing the younger one to preach. And guess what book that pastor was using to teach his sermons? The Twitter book. Later on. So he started taking sermons from the minister's Q&As and teaching sermons in the church. Then from there, teachers using the minister's Q&As from Twitter and using them as curriculum in high school, middle school, elementary, college classes. So the minister affected the church. Then he affected college campuses and school curriculum. Second story that's personable to me. I was on an airplane with the book, Twitter book, and I don't know, normally I'm more, Sister Angela. I see my sister Angel on there. Thank you, my beloved sister. Good to see you. We mostly very security-minded when our comings and going, especially when we got the teachers on the airplane. But for some reason, I went to excuse myself and to go to the lavatory, and man, I left my Twitter book in my seat. I was on the aisle seat. I don't know why I did that. When I came back, a sister that was on the opposite aisle seat, do y'all know this black woman had picked my book up? She was young, rather, too. Had my Twitter book, and she was reading it. And y'all know how black people are. We not like white people. I hope somebody would. I hope they're not. Black people be like, I wish somebody would, right? So she got my book. She was reading it. And she didn't see me standing behind her, so I sat down. And she turns to me and she says, I'm sorry, sir, the cover of this book made me want to pick it up. I've seen this man's face before. I just never knew his name. So his name is Minister Farrakhan. I said, yes, ma'am. She had already read 5 pages of the book. And she said, can I have this? She said, because I love the way this man answers questions. He does not tell us what to do. He invites us to it. Oh, y'all didn't hear that. She said he don't tell us what to do. He invites us to it. Isn't that in the Holy Quran about the messenger of Allah? Oh, so this sister, of course, I gave it to her. And she took it. And when we got off the plane, she was crying because she had almost finished the whole book on the plane ride. She couldn't stop reading it. So in the air, the word of God touched one of our sisters in the air. And while she was on the plane, she was flying high because Jesus had took her form and breathed the spirit of life into her. So when she got off the plane, she was crying. When we got the bags claimed, she kept thanking me. And she asked me what was the address where other people can buy some because she was going to tell her friends to get one. That's just from volume 1. All praise is due to Allah.
Wow, wait, I'm trying to do that. Okay, here we go. Brother Abdul Kiam, you got me in tears. Look at it. They're going off over here.
Oh, praise is due to Allah.
Oh my God, that is such a beautiful testimony. And brother, you just have a way of expressing these experiences and realities that we really appreciate. I mean, I know she's forever changed. This is an opportunity. Let me share screen, and this is him speaking at the Nubian Leadership Council.
Yes.
Here's another comment, Sister Sharifa. Yep, wonderful story. Yep.
Be to Allah.
That's right. Let us have a glimpse of who Brother Abdul Kiam is speaking of right now. I'm going to add it there. Okay, we can stay right there.
This word that I wish to bring today is a part of my thought as time makes me very aware of my mortality. Time is a gift from God. Time is a blessing. It's what we do with time that earns us the honor and respect of our fellow human beings. But above all, it earns us the respect of our Creator. I'm so thankful, Brother Siddiqui, for your inviting me to be a part of this wonderful 9th meeting of the various cadres that we started with just 1 or 2. And now I see so many. I'm very proud of your work, Brother Siddiqui, and all of those who have come forward to help in this effort. But I thought on what could I say to you that would be a blessing to you and a blessing to those whom you represent.
Wow, all praises.
Yeah.
What you say?
I be want to say the minister. Whoa. So beautiful.
It's so hard to maintain composure. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm so glad you're our guest. I really can just stay out the whole time and let you and the people take it away. But look at that. Brother Abdul Kiam, just thank you, because what we have to realize as well is those downloads, many of what we're able to go consistently, I've been able to go throughout the over 2 decades of Liberated Sisters, call you or go to the sites that you manage for us as well as your own QVid. Like, is there something already packaged that I could use to further spread the word? And that's one of them. That's one of them.
Praise be to Allah. You know, what the minister just, y'all excuse me, he just looks so beautiful and angelic.
Going back, that
Yeah, just
that's what I wanted to express. Like, he's 90. Did you see him? Just laying eyes on him, clear of thought, mind, presence. He's reversing in age.
woo, come on now. That's chapter 23 of Our Savior Has Arrived. Woo! And it's so beautiful when you hear him speak, how he handles everybody so lovingly, you know, and even in how he invited everybody on the Nubian Leadership Circle and all of us to read the Muslim program. And look how the minister said, he's so humble and gentle. He didn't say, I want you all. He invited us to it, invited the people. He said, I don't ask you for much, but I want you to do something for me. Just so loving. And that's what happened with the feedback on social media. Sister Charlene, people who said that they had never read the Muslim program, the thing that really inspired them to want to go and read it was the fact that the minister said he don't ask us for anything.
Come on.
And they said, you know what? One person said, the minister is right. He doesn't ask us for anything. So this is the least I could do. I'll be reading it as you ask.
Right. Wait.
The beauty of his heart touches people no matter where he speaks at. And so this is why he is our example. And more quotes. One person said this. They said, I just read the Muslim program of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Very insightful, uplifting, and inspiring. I didn't find anything I disagree with. I just don't understand it all. One person said, this is the first time I see that the Muslim program isn't just for the Nation of Islam, but for all people of goodwill. Then somebody said, those first 3 points are on point. Much respect to Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam. And last feedback point. This is from the minister. Now, y'all know over the years, since 2011, it's been my job to collect feedback for the minister and send it to him because he wants to know. So every time the minister is spoken by Allah's grace, where I've been able to access it since 2011, he wants that feedback in PDFs. So I'm reading this feedback straight from the PDF that I was blessed to send to the minister about Saturday. So y'all getting it exclusive here on Liberated Sisters. But this last person said here, I've been reading the final call for years, and this will be my first time actually reading the program in its entirety. Those points of the Muslims want, is what we all should want. So the minister put us all on a study assignment, students, whether you're in the nation or not. We want to go and study and dig into the program of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as the minister has invited us to do. So I don't know about the other students in the class, but I got started immediately too. Going back from point number 1, listening to him, going back over the point, studying it, digging into it. Because as Sister Charlene said, y'all know the minister. What inspired us to do the clips, the minister said, brother, he would always ask me early on, he said, now, brother, how y'all gonna break that meal down for the people?
Right.
He said this to me early on. He said, but I speak so long, everybody's not gonna watch that full lecture. So he said, piece the meal down for the people. Wasn't the Quran revealed in piecemeal?
Yes.
Come on, brothers and sisters.
Come on.
See, we gotta see how the Muhammad of this time is being guided and lined up. And that's why he is the seal of the prophets, because everything he's doing and guiding us to do, if we pay attention, is from on high. So he's the one that inspired us to start down in portions and then sending everybody to watch the full message. And that strategy by Allah's grace, no matter if it's the Beethoven, Mendelssohn, the Nation of Islam webcast every Sunday, we piece it down and then send. There's a science to that. And we did it with the time and what must be done. So the minister really laid out something so beautiful on Saturday. So we cannot take it lightly, brothers and sisters. Every time we blessed to hear from him, we got that our beloved minister was trending on X, used to be Twitter, on Saturday in the midst of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Hamas terror was trending, Gaza evacuation, everything that's going on in the Middle East, and of course some college football. The minister was trending in the midst of all of that. Woo!
Come
So
on,
that lets you know
army.
that the people are hungry for Allah's way to be trending in the heart. And that's why we cannot take what we post lightly at all.
No.
Somebody out there need this word, and the minister is always happy, believers, when we're sharing all of his recent messages. So I want to ask everybody, since Savior's Day, how many of the newest, latest messages from the minister have we shared on our pages? Don't put that in the chat now. I ain't trying to call nobody out, but the minister, and I want to thank, because this work is not just me by myself, of course. There's a team that's helping, but all you believers, including you, Sister Charlene, all you all who spread and post the clips, post the videos. I comb through social media, through various pages to collect all this various data and information and feedback. So as you're posting and spreading, you helping me to help him, to serve him so he can see how he's touched the people.
Praise be to Allah, Brother Abdul Qiyam. This is a perfect opportunity to show how you gathered and thank Allah to all the believers who put out their day of service in honor of the birthday. I'm going to run those, and then also I forgot to say it, but we're here now in it. We are doing, because we don't have to stop talking about it. But I forgot to announce the 10% discount on. Let me go back to the other slide. The 10% discount on the Teachings 2.0 volumes 3A and 3B. If you DM, I'll let Brother Abdul Qiyam tell you where you can send the message. But if you do that within this hour, then Liberated Sisters will allow a 10% discount on your purchase of the volumes right here. So, Brother Abdul Qiyam, how can they do that? And I'll run some of the day of service. And after you make that announcement for them, then you can talk about what you observed. And then we're also going to, before we go out, make sure to talk about the feedback from Brother Ishmael, student message. I know, right? It's just so much jam-packed. Well, where's Brother Sultan?
Man, they must, I'm sure they had to renovate Mos Mariam's headpiece after that fire on last Saturday. Lord have mercy. They blessed to still have a building.
Come on now.
Praise be to Allah. So right now, if you don't have volume 3A and 3B, Liberated Sisters, this is exclusive, that she's offering 10% off these books, and I have them right here in stock. If you send me a DM, either message me on Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, however Mr. Musk want to call it. You send me a private message with the words Liberated Sisters. Liberated Sisters in my DM. Message me on Facebook, or if you do a DM actually on social media, on Twitter as well. And all you got to do is put Liberated Sisters, and I'll respond back to you to get your shipping information. And we'll send those out to you, and you get your 10% discount of volume 3A and 3B of the Teachers 2.0, the Twitter sayings of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So do it right now. As our beloved brother Jabril used to say, not now, right now.
Right now. All praises due to Allah. And thanks for offering the viewers and listeners that, and spread the word. You have to do it within this next 52 minutes. That's the time frame. Brother Abdul Qiyam, thank you. That's 10% off. Go ahead and let's talk about what you observed with the first of all, wait a minute. Time out. Let's talk about this beautiful cover, brother.
Ooh,
God. When I saw it, I was like, that is fire. But then I was like, oh, but that's fire.
Literally. That is the beautiful artwork. First of all, that picture was captured by our beloved brother Hannibal Muhammad of Phoenix, Arizona. That's
Okay.
his image that he
Okay.
took, and we still using it. Thank you, Brother Hannibal.
Okay.
And the cover design layout is our beloved brother Jaleel Muhammad out of Detroit.
These two right here, let me tell you something.
Ooh-wee.
They're top contenders. They are some beautiful, talented designers together. Okay, this is so magnificent. When I saw it, it just spoke to my soul. But let me thank you for sharing that.
Praise
Thank
be
you for
to
sharing
Allah.
how
And
we
I'm gonna
got
just
this.
say this briefly for those that's wondering.
Mm.
Get into it maybe in more detail at another time. But the 3A and the 3B was not Brother Abdul Qiyam's idea. This is a divinely inspired in a phone call with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That is from him. And in that conference call, the minister, our beloved minister, he had read volume 3, which when you get your copy now, when you get it, you get your copies. Volume 3 is dedicated to the Ask Farrakhan social media town hall meeting. The transcript is the opening part of it. And it concludes with more of his question and answers that he answered between 2012 and parts of 2013. Well, the minister, when he read the full transcript of 3A, he called me and said, brother, it's kind of long, don't you think? He said, my answers at the town hall meeting are very long, brother. And I said, yes, sir, brother minister. It was a different setting. And he said, well, how about this? And he got quiet. Look at this. He said, how about we break it down in parts? Do a part 1 and a part 2 of the town hall meeting. And he said this, and because you're not going to run out of testimonies, you write an introduction for the first book and for the second book. And he said, brother, we're going to call it 3A and 3B. This is all the minister on the phone. He said, what do you think about that, brother? I said, I think that's what we're going to do, brother minister. He said, very good. Went back to Brother Jaleel with the layout. We broke it in half. And then the last other part, the minister said, in your introduction, brother, can you explain to the people why my answers were so long in the town hall meeting? I said, you already did that for us, brother minister. He said, what you mean? I said, at the end of the town hall meeting webcast, you told the people why your answer was so long and why you only got to answer 35 questions out of nearly 700 questions. He said, I did explain it. I said, yes, sir. So all I got to do is put your words in the introduction. And he laughed. Oh, look how Allah just brings stuff together.
Wow.
And that's what your brother did. I wrote 2 separate introductions. And when we sent it back to the minister, 3A and 3B, we overnighted the manuscript to him. Sister Charlene, the minister called me and told me he read both volumes in one sitting. He couldn't stop reading it because he was marveling at his answers. Because why? The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said in Closing the Gap, and I know we ran out of time.
No, go ahead.
The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, he's quoting in Closing the Gap. He said, brother, I'm like a guided missile. And Allah is off in a secret place directing and guiding me. Well, the minister is the same way. He's a guided missile. And if you know anything about military warfare, the guided missile does not control itself. It's in the hands of the person that's pushing the buttons. So when the guided missile hits the target, the missile is not conscious of what it hits unless it became conscious. So when you're dealing with a divinely guided man who is a guided missile, when he goes back and read words that Allah gave him, he get a chance to see what his father wanted to do in hitting the targets he wanted to hit. So he is marveling at his answers. He's clapping at his answers in the book, and he read it all in one sitting. So 3A and 3B is inspired by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from a phone call. So I just had to get that testimony.
Thank you. Just bear with me. I'm not trying to be dominant here. There we go. Allahu Akbar. Thank you for that. Look, I want to just put some of the comments. Brother, don't worry about the announcements that I made. You know, just this is your presentation. and you're giving a lot of information, some of it we've never heard before. So I'm grateful, and I don't want to stop any stride that you have, to share what you're sharing. I just want to put this up as a reminder to get it. And also, let's get the books
That's
for
right. Plural. I like that part.
yeah,
Yes.
get it and gift it to somebody. We have Savior's Day. This is a season of giving.
That's right.
Just in terms of knowledge and information. But thank you for saying that, Brother Abdul Kiam. Let me. Oh, okay. So we're going to deal with the day of service, but I was going to ask you how did you all keep this under wraps? The team, because when I saw it, I was so elated. I said, "Oh!" First I thought, because with some of my designs, my designer for our Liberated Sisters flyer is so talented. My daughter said, "You have a purple garment, a lavender garment?" I said, "No, that's Brother Jalil." But so I thought that's what had happened with the 2.0 books. And at first I said, who did that? Who changed the color of the teachings books trying to be creative? Because we got to get checked a lot. Thank a lot on our creativity with our his intellectual property. So at first I thought that. I said, no. That is too, that would be too extreme. And then I looked and I said, oh, that is off the chain. I said, oh, that was kept quiet. And we got to move like that.
That's right. It was definitely for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes, like the minister said, in belief in Allah, he says, we speak our ideas too soon. It's like trying to speak about a baby before the baby comes. And he tells us sometimes we got to get quiet, get into the darkness of it, and develop the idea. And so as this thing was moving and working with Brother Abdul Rasul, our general manager of the Final Call, we was moved by this spirit, and the way the minister was moving with this was a very divinely guided process, because these books wasn't supposed to be released per something he said to us last year. So we knew that we needed to just wait until it was completely out, and we needed to wait till the minister saw it in person first to make sure that the printing was fine, that he approved. So I didn't put nothing out. We kept it under wraps. Everybody that worked on it. So, so it was guided like that, and it was for a reason. And we're in the hour, brothers and sisters, where the time is darkening, and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, as the minister reminded me a few years back in a phone call, that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said the nation of Islam is honeycombed with these rotten characters and hypocrites. And so if we're honeycombed, they're everywhere. So we also got to be strategic not to talk so much about things. And it's better that if you got it and then it's done, then fire at will. So you saw what we did once we blasted. It's interesting. The cover definitely looked like an asteroid is hitting. Some fire got shot because everybody got caught off guard. Now I got checked by Twitter Army members. I got text messages like, come on now, what's going on? Why you didn't tell us anything? Now they knew it had to be for a reason. So this hour calls for strategy, but more importantly, it calls for us to strive to be more tuned in to the frequency of the Messiah. And let Allah guide our steps and movements and everything that we're doing, especially when we're on assignments for him. So I didn't want to brag about, it's coming and this, that, and other, because why? We didn't know how God may guide him not to put it out yet, even though we had it printed. Don't assume anything with the Messiah. This is his words. These are his books. He's in charge. So me and Brother Abdul Rasul was waiting for him to give us the green light. These are his. And that's how we have to move. So thanks be to Allah in it. It's so much more to it. But just thank our beloved minister, man. If we just strive to follow more behind him, not try to be in front of him, but get behind him. If he will get us safely over the river, over the lake, right? Then surely he knows how to guide us to put a book out. So we can't move and down suspicious with our man. So I'm just striving to be submissive, not in this for vanity or show. This is not Brother Abdul Qiyam Muhammad's books. I'm just down as the striving just to be the compiler. But this is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's book. So we ask you, go and get these books. Support them. The minister would love if every mosque and study group would have these books. We ask you if you can, go in the store, call the final call tomorrow, and order cases. And you all know that's been following me by the graceful law on social media since Volume 1 came out. Volume 1 came out in 2014, brothers and sisters, for now nearly 10 years. We've been giving away sponsored, free, complimentary copies all around the country and parts of the world. So if you want to support the 12 Life campaign, reach out to me because we're putting these in as many hands of the young people as we can. But the minister wants us to shower love for this. He has sacrificed. He has given and poured so much into us, has let Allah use him. And even at times when he has went to the hospital and came out after procedures, he's went right back to answering questions. Even if he was traveling, he's postponed certain appointments just to answer our questions. So we asked you, everybody should get these books and get extra ones to give them away. All praise is due to Allah. Excuse me, Sister Charlene. I got me fired up. It must be because it's my Eid day. All praise is due to Allah. Uh-oh, Sister Charlene done left me. Well, with that being said, I am used to being on the program. Now, brothers, as we get ready to close, our beloved brother, student minister Ishmael Muhammad. I know all of us by the graceful law tuned in and was live at our mosque, live at Mosque Mariam, and watch our brother, through the guidance of the Messiah, deliver a beautiful representation and presentation of a weighty word and message on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I sent my brother a personal text message on behalf of myself and my family. I had to just thank him for just striving to be submissive to the Messiah and letting Allah use him, and just praying that Allah continue to strengthen him and bless and reward his family. So I had to send my brother a personal text message. Along with that, we went to work. Y'all know the Twitter Army members, we got a live tweet and we mounted up on Sunday to live tweet the program from start to finish, because the minister, he's always happy when we're live tweeting for him, but he gets extra excited when he knows we're doing the same thing for the other students in the class. So first, before I read some of this feedback, I want to let you all know that on Sunday, we had 4 spots that were trending throughout the whole program. And it picked up pace as Brother Ishmael was going with that team through those slides and those points. Hashtag Farrakhan was trending. Elijah Muhammad was trending. Y'all know the minister is excited about that, right? Holy Day of Atonement hashtag HDOA23 was trending. And NOI Sundays, which is the hashtag that we put up every Sunday when believers are tweeting from the various mosques around the world, NOI Sundays was trending. So in the midst of all the sport play, all of the Middle East conflict, everything that's going on, the Nation of Islam, through the guidance of our commander in tweet, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, we have 4 top trending spots on Twitter, and people are still talking about it. So I'm going to read just some of the feedback, just 2 things. And I have to thank our beloved student minister, student regional minister, Brother Abdul Sharif Muhammad, and Muhammad Mosque number 15, and Rise Magazine, and Rise Magazine podcast. I don't know if y'all been to their social media pages. I told you all, I comb through our pages. I'm always looking for feedback. Well, on their Rise Magazine Instagram, they posted memes or reactions of some of the people that attended the mosque in Atlanta. And they laid it out so beautiful. I just want to read, if you all don't mind, I just want to read 2 of the reactions of people who said something about Brother Ishmael's message. This lady said, the lecture was very interesting. It was very different. I'm a Christian, So it was very interesting to see how you all celebrate the Million Man March. It was very informative. I learned a lot of stuff I didn't realize or know or paid attention to, but I had a really great time. Now look at this, Nation of Islam. She went to Mars 15. She said what stood out to me the most was the organization and how everything ran very smoothly and how everything was planned out. I appreciate how strict you all are in regards to how you carry out your posts, how the men are on one side and the women on the other side, just so you can maintain focus. Being a Christian, that's something that we do. So it is very interesting. Excuse me. She said, being a Christian, that's something that's not something that we do, excuse me, as Christians. She said, so it was very interesting to see that firsthand. I know today was a special occasion, so I have been asked if I would come back for regular service, which I excited to come back and participate to see what the regular service is like. All praise is due to Allah. Another person said, the lecture delivered by student minister Ishmael was especially impactful as he seamlessly wove references to the Holy Quran into his message. His words resonated with me, emphasizing the importance of coming together as a community and to strive for positive change and atonement. Another person said, I knew the government was wicked, but my God, the Nation of Islam has thoroughly exposed them today. We can't trust nobody but God and the Nation of Islam. Oh, y'all didn't hear that? Then somebody said, thank you, Brother Ishmael, for letting Allah use you to be able to carry such a weighty word on behalf of the minister. I'm excited to watch it again and again, and I'm looking forward to part 2. All praise is due to Allah. I just got word that our beloved brother have returned back to these microphones. Our beloved brother Sultan Muhammad has came off 911 detail. Go ahead, brother.
Man, look, as soon as I turn it on, look who I see. Boy, Mr. Excitement.
I have to give apologies too. My system shut me all the way down. So I don't, Brother Abdul Qiyam, thank you, because when I came back, it's like you hadn't even stopped. So
I bet he kept going.
Yeah, it was on.
I'm a young old school trained soldier. You know, we were told if you come to the mosque and ain't nobody there, when it's time 10 o'clock, you open up in prayer.
That's right. And if it's not 10 o'clock yet, go fish.
Go fish, that's right. You do the check, you clean, all that, because you are the mosque. So I just know how to cover down.
Yeah, that was beautiful feedback. Brother Sultan, jump right in. Y'all take it away. I'll show some of the day of service pictures, but he's talking about student minister Ishmael's address.
Woo.
Brother. And I mean, the spirit was so beautiful. And there was a beautiful spirit in the mosque. It really was. And the first question that I had was, I wanted to know, did we take acceptance? I'm telling you, we didn't get to the acceptance, as we don't many times in these kind of situations. But my mind of faces I saw on people, I had to leave, at the end, but the faces, especially of the youth who were coming out, man, they were smiling. They had energy. They had life.
Yes.
They had life. So if the old ones out there, and you can still be 20 and be old, but if the old ones out there don't, you don't have any more life, it may not be the best place for you. But if you want to live, you have to come and just see this. As a matter of fact, if you want to live, just try this out.
Yeah.
Just read it. Just open it up. And I saw something, Brother Qiyam. Let me see if I can find it. It was something that you said that, man, reminded me of something. It says, and now this is 3B.
Yes, sir.
And it's introduction, third paragraph. So in that message, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan declared, Elijah is my spiritual father. You think he's dead. I told you he's alive. He's at the right hand of the Father that made him. And from heaven he communicates with me.
That's right.
And you know what came to my mind, Brother Keon? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done where? On earth.
Come on now.
I know my Father is in heaven. He's on a wheel. It's just so beautiful that that prayer could not be understood in its correctness until that man who came from the east came and brought what he brought to the west.
Come on.
And then brought with him the knowledge of a will. So now I understand the prayer, and I say it every day now. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
Come on.
Because the Father, for all of us, for all of mankind, is what you just said and what I just read in that wonderful, beautiful book.
Praise
And if it can answer those questions, I mean, we can only we can answer the question of we and us in the Quran. We're the only ones that can answer that question. So the question that you have, brothers and sisters, because we were never taught the truth, you can get it it's like a medicine. This is really a medicine, Brother Keon.
Yes, sir.
It is the balm in Gilead.
Brother Ishmael called him the chief physician on Sunday.
Oh, brother.
That's what he said.
Brother.
The chief physician.
Oh, may I tell a short story about that?
Come on now.
Right.
We were going to Memphis, and the minister was speaking in Memphis, and we were going through Marion, Illinois. Marion, Illinois, if you get a ticket to Marion, Illinois, you live in New York, you can't send a lawyer. You got to come to Marion, Illinois to deal with your ticket. So I had to go back to Marion, Illinois. And in this racist atmosphere, the judge calls my name to come up. And I went up. And the judge says, Mr. Muhammad, I see you were driving 80 miles an hour in a 55-mile zone. I said, yes, sir. He said, do you have an explanation? And what immediately came to my head is something that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan taught us about, Masons and Shriners and how they would come at one time or at a time. And that there were some of them who would be sitting on the judge's seat. So all that went through my head, and I said, he said, well, do you have that? I said, yes, sir. I said, well, I don't know, but we got more knowledge than what the Masons and the Shriners have, so let me try it. I said, well, sir, I was headed to the city of Memphis, and there was a man dying there, and I had the balm to save his life. The judge asked me, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I tried it. The judge said, did you get there in time? I said, yes, sir. Bang, case dismissed. See, I'm saying something to our people who think that we know so much. But what we were taught, what did I say to the man? I knew what I was saying to him, but I didn't know if it was going to work. Memphis, and we were going to Memphis. The minister was speaking to Memphis the next day. We were going to Memphis, the city of the dead. I said, I'm going there because a man is dying there. Who? Our people. And I have the balm. We had the balm to save them. BALM.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Come on now.
We had the balm to save them.
Yes. Yes.
And that judge asked me, did you get there in time?
Mm.
And all I could do was thank God first, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad.
Yes.
What he taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that cannot be defeated by their scientists, by their mathematicians, any of their science, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is the Messiah. And we got to help our people to understand that he's the Messiah.
That's
that
right.
the Messiah could not have been from 2,000 years ago.
Come on.
Could not. And then we can talk about why then in Italy, they got a church there where they have a statue of Moses, and they say they have kissed the foot so many times on the left toes have disappeared, because that man represents the man that went to raise them up out of their cave existence.
Man.
Truth is everywhere. And people, if you want to solve your problems and the problems of our people. So you were answering a question, and I'm going to ask you a second part of that question. I want to ask you about something else. Brother Kiyam, to all who are listening, played 1 minute and 28 seconds of a piece from the minister's Beethoven. How many hits have you got from that 1 minute, 28 second piece?
Over 2.2 million views, sir.
2.2 million views. And did many of them come with comments?
Yes, sir. Well over 7,200 comments, sir.
People, you see, all this is the same. Brother Kian, can you just tell us briefly about that experience?
Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. You know, this goes to the minister guiding us and loving how we take all of these videos and the long videos and breaking them down into pieces, as he say, breaking the meal down for the people. And of course, just like everybody else, I was so excited, and especially being that we've been blessed to be on the phone with the minister and hearing him talk about how dear that Beethoven was and is to him, and how he thought it would be in the dustbin of history forever. It would never come back because of what the enemy did. So he didn't even know or expect that he would even be able to be shown fully ever again. So he was so excited when it premiered. Thank Allah for his grandson, Brother Leonard Jr., and others that worked. And so from that time, again, with the feedback, I was always putting out clips of the minister's Beethoven, driving people to watch the full performance, and kept doing it since 2021, May 11, 2021. So fast forward on May 11th of this year. Now, I can't say about anybody else, but every superhero needs his theme music.
That's right.
This what dominates my playlist. My brothers, my family members, others know I have deleted all the other music apps. I don't listen to it. If I'm not listening to the minister, classical, which is his Beethoven, this is what I listen to. So his musical life, which gives us a deeper understanding of his divinity and his heart, I'm always studying it. So when I was blessed, and we were blessed on May 11th of this year for his 90th birthday anniversary, I just watched and I cried myself personally, watching the beauty of the heart of the minister on display and the childlike beauty of the executive council around him. And I just even said, I said, man, even Brother Leonard, who's usually very stoic in his demeanor, for those of us that know him, everybody was so childlike that night. And I just marveled at the heart on display and the beauty of the presentation. And it was just so loving. So that next morning, I was reflecting on that and thinking on it, the beauty of what we witnessed on May 11th, that night before. And so the thought and spirit just came upon me and moved me. It made me to think about the minister's music and how the beauty of the heart that was on display on the night of his birthday anniversary, that heart of the minister is displayed through his music, particularly his Beethoven. So I went into my phone. I have all kinds of clips of the minister. Anybody know me? I'm like that man on A Beautiful Mind with the algebra problems on the window. I got clips for days, books, research, whatever it may be, all stored up in files. And that's why believers are always calling on me to locate things, because I'm a studyaholic, organized collections. So I always have clips of the Beethoven. But it was a particular clip of a particular movement that was brought to my mind to put out in that moment on my the Teachers Podcast Instagram. And I was just moved in the spirit, and I said, this reflects the heart that was on display May 11th, that night before, for his 90th birthday anniversary. Brothers and sisters, I have put up by the grace of Allah many clips from the Beethoven. Many, me and the team, the Twitter army, social media army, many of us have shared it, spread it. Mendelssohn, the Mendelssohn documentary. I did not anticipate, by Allah's permission, that this clip would take off the way it did. And after a few days later, I looked up, a couple days later, it was at 1 million. I say, wait a minute. And one of the brothers here in Houston, he called me and said, man, have you seen that Beethoven clip? It's taking off. And the comments started flowing in. And it just kept going. And I knew I had to share with the minister. And I won't go into all that now, but it touched the minister in such a very deep way, brother. Brother Sultan can tell you all. It touched him so deeply in it that I didn't expect it to happen. And I will say this, because our father said, he said, brother, that was my father in your head that moved you to put that when you did.
Listen.
All praise due to Allah. I'll leave it at that.
Sharifa, Tawan, somebody, Donna, put it up, put it in the chat for me so I could play it. I have one, but it's a 3-minute clip. I want to play the one that you're talking about, brother Kiyan.
Praise be to Allah.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Are we waiting on that? Can I just interject 2 more comments to Brother Ishmael's message real quick?
It's yours. It's yours.
Somebody said, quote, the enemy was spiritually punched. I know Brother Sultan like that. I'm going to say it again.
Yes, sir.
The enemy was spiritually punched by the words of Allah that poured through Minister Ishmael Muhammad during Holy Day of Atonement 2023. Yes. When Black people are freed in America, the world will be freed from tyranny. What does that mean? It means Allah will fight Satan for us. Another person said, this was a big history class that I needed to attend. The Nation of Islam is thorough in exposing the wicked. The presidents indeed have planned a war, receipts galore.
That's right.
The comments are still coming in because we've been breaking down that big meal from Sunday, but and putting out those clips and spreading them around the world. So we thank Allah for our beloved minister for entrusting our beloved brother Ishmael Muhammad to deliver such a beautiful word. And we're looking forward to part 2, Allah willing.
Yes, we are. I have the video. Thank you, Sister Donna, of Beethoven, but continue on so that I can get that, share the screen, with that.
Somebody talking about the lawsuit that they heard that the Nation of Islam filed, Brother Sultan.
No. So.
Oh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, a part of, when you go over some of these just short statements, Brother Kiyan, the answers, it's just so, when you just constantly hear just answer after answer after answer.
Mm.
And you know that it's balm to the people. You know it's just filling in. I mean, you ever wonder how many lives he's saving?
Yes. All the time. Me and the ministers had this saying to one another that the white man has not invented a contraption to measure how far his responses have gone.
Mm.
He said they haven't created an algorithm high enough.
That's right,
to
brother.
be able to measure how far his words have gone.
Yes, sir.
He said,
Yes,
no,
sir.
they can't measure it. So I'm
Yes, sir.
always thinking, and brother, just a few weeks ago, I ran into somebody that I didn't know that I knew that actually asked the minister a question back in 2013. And they saying, brother, man, look, man, I'm still feeding off that answer he gave me.
Yes, sir.
So we don't know in the quietness of people's homes and their phones, including the believers,
Yes,
where
sir.
the minister gave a response and is still feeding life. Because it's like the Holy Quran, it's light upon life. And then we keep going back to study. That's why I keep going back to the Teacher 2.0. Because I'm always recalling and thinking about the context in which he answered these questions and feeding on the moment. And so the circumstances around our lives will be affected by the electrical energy and impulse of the word of his answers.
Yes.
So I'm always going back over it because more and more is coming back to me on it and being fed. So it can't be measured. I'm always thinking about what people's lives have been saved and changed, because the minister's not just answering the question for the person who asked the question, because everybody in the whole world can see it on Twitter, Facebook. So we have no idea how many questions got asked that other people had on their mind. And they took a screenshot of it, Brother Sultan.
And you know, the minister said, Brother Jabril said one day, we were talking about this kind of thing, and we were talking about something he read with the verse, and went a little deeper into it. I saw something else. He said, well, brother, did the words change? I said, no, so the words are still the same when I worded. He said, then you changed.
Oh,
see, that's how important this is. If we want to change, we need a word that has the power of change. So that's what you reminded me of then.
Yes.
Your change is the growth.
Yes. Praise.
That's why you keep going back. And if you keep going back and keep going back and keep going back, I'm telling you, brother, if y'all just get one of them, all the people out there who listen, just get one.
Yes, and
just get one. And
people
you
heard me
sit
say this
down at your table and invite them to the house, and they say, "Oh, you so smart." But that's what the young wife Muhammad said. You'll be so smart.
But Brother Sultan, we offered a 10% discount, and people have been DMing according to what they're putting in the chat. And you have another almost 10 minutes to get a 10% discount on volumes 1 and 2.
Come on now.
Just DM
right.
Kiam, Liberated Sisters.
And I want to just say this, how precious it is that the minister has blessed us with 3A and 3B. Many have heard me say, Brother Sultan, because many was asking me for years. Many that's even on here, brother, when the next is coming out.
Yeah.
And they tell you, I always say, whenever the minister is ready, I say, however, when volume 2 came out in 2019, he said just with the responses that he has in volume 2, we could teach the people for years to come while he's gone.
Yes, sir.
So I always said we haven't plumbed the depths now of 1 and 2. But now he's blessed us and been inspired from on high to give us 2 more. We can't take this lightly. We should run to get these books ourselves. Read them immediately and share this bread with the people. Do y'all know in the book of John that when the multitude were being fed, that Jesus actually gave the bread to the disciples and they gave it to the multitude?
Right.
Go back and read the book. He told us on September 17th, 2020 to read the entire book of John for a reason. It's been over 3 years. But he gave them the bread.
Get some bread, y'all.
The multitudes. Then he told them, collect all the fragments up, Brother Sultan, in the basket. Then won't no bread to go to waste. Come on, brothers and sisters. We got
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Scripture, man.
I submit.
Oh, praise to Allah. This man is not doing anything that is not in the word of God. And that's why he told us in the swan song, you don't know me unless you know me from the word of God. So, Brother Abdul Kiyama is just thinking about social media and tweets and Facebook posts. I'm looking through the lens of the word of God. So if you want that 10% Liberated Sisters discount, just send me a DM on any platform that you own, that you connected to me, and put Liberated Sisters in the message. And we'll connect with you and get you that exclusive 10% discount. But you got to get the bread and you got to pass the bread.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. And we have another few minutes. Let's talk about the day of service that went on across the entire nation of Islam. But you this is really beautiful. Thank Allah for the presentation tonight. Go ahead. Carry on.
Praise be to Allah. Again, thank you to all of the Nation of Islam mosques and study groups who following in the example of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and going out and serving and giving. Because the minister told us, he shared with me on the phone and he showed me share with others, that the way he celebrated his birthday anniversary, he was giving from the time he woke up all the way to the end of the day.
I bear witness.
And he told me, he said, brother, I have set the standard by which all human beings should celebrate their birthday by giving. So here we went out on October 7th and October the 16th around the nation. And I'm always looking to see the pictures that's posted around the nation, Brother Sultan, because you know we got to collect the pictures.
Yes, sir.
I'm on the Nation of Islam Facebook page.
Yes, sir.
So the final call can find them and pick them up. So we were excited, but the people, you can see it in the pictures. Our people so happy to see us, so happy to receive that food and to receive that love on behalf of the minister. So we want to applaud and thank all of the Nation of Islam study group and Maz for a wonderful, wonderful job. And we want to thank our executive council of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan for inspiring us as soldiers and believers to go out in the streets and feed and serve our people. And we had a wonderful time here in Houston. It was on. We did about 250 dinners in Houston. I heard some cities did 300, some did 1,000. Chicago, Brother Sultan, y'all did 1,000?
Yes, sir. I Phoenix told me they did 1,000.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, we talking about Sister Naima, so that ain't no surprise there.
Right.
The student captain don't play, but so all of the pictures are circulating and they're floating around. So this again, these are things that we share with our beloved minister. He loves to see this in reports as well. So thank you to all of the believers, because it was just Tuesday night. We had our latest Nation of Islam social, having dinner with the believers in their homes, and believers was posting pictures and everything. See, we don't have to down these modern contraptions and platforms that Allah has orchestrated for his Messiah.
That's right.
All we have to do is use them how he has guided us to use them, and we can impact our people with these beautiful displays around the country and the world. Yeah. So go ahead, Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful time. And Sister Charlene.
Yeah.
While we were doing the day of service, hashtag Million Man March was trending on Twitter.
See, I caught chills just now. Wow. Hashtag Million Man March. So, you know, it was all that could be done in LA to stop some people from trying to get the food that the sisters were preparing to take out to the people. The food looked so good. It really did.
You know,
we had to hold back the brothers from that chicken, Brother Sultan.
Yes, sir.
I was like,
one point always comes to mind, and I repeat every time I get an opportunity to do that, and I want you to comment on it if you would. As a matter of fact, both. In Washington, D.C., on that weekend, like the other weekends before, they had an average of 8 to 9 brothers killed every weekend.
Man.
On that weekend, God, Allah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, backing Minister Farrakhan, sent 2 million more men to Washington, D.C. And there were no killings, no murders at all for that one weekend.
Wow.
In Washington, D.C., with 2 million black men added. To God belongs
to heaven.
Think about that. Woo. Come on, Brother Keon.
Oh, he's with your reply. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, he's got a reply.
It's on you, Brother Abdul Kiam. I'm a glimpse of heaven. I'm done anyway, y'all.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. He said it.
That's right. Really a glimpse of heaven. It really was, in fact, that.
I want to say this. I know. I think about it, and one would say, "Well, if you think about it, why you say it?" Because I'm me. I just know that I kept saying I would have found a way to work that march. That is a I know that I have, but that day I was working at a law firm, and just the run up to it being in Los Angeles was something to see on the outskirts. It wasn't until December that year that I actually went to the mosque, but I was peeking on my right eye at the Muslims, and I just kept, when I got in, I was looking at the sisters like there was anything you could do, but the biggest thing that they did and they could do was be obedient and do what was in our role to do as MGT, and they did it so well. But that day I left work. I went back eventually, but I was like, I'm out of here. I could not stay at that desk and watch it all happen. And it was just beautiful to see. And it was literally a black sea, just peace. And so the subsequent marches to experience them was something else, especially Justice or Else, because I was one that was like, ooh, wait. But go ahead.
One more question I wanted to ask.
Right here.
What is the question, Brother Keon, in particular regarding the 2.0? What question are you asked more than anything about it?
That I am the people, number one, want to always know when the next volumes are coming out. So now the minister is going to give me a little cushion now that 3A and 3B is out. They always want to know when the next ones will come out. They're very hungry, this inside and outside the nation, to have these in book form, because they know that the ministers answered over 5,000. So we have enough to make 10 more books, 10 more volumes, and keep it going at minimum. So that's the number one question. And another question people always want to know is, how does the minister feel when he reads the book, when he sees his answers, if he don't know them in advance? So the believers in particular always want to know, how does it make the minister feel when he reads the answers and go back? And the last one definitely is, believers and our people always asking me about my experiences, as you asked tonight, being on the phone with the minister. How is it in those Q&A sessions? Because, we've done a few in person as well and recorded.
Yes.
So they always want to know my testimony and how those experiences been. And by the grace of Allah, I've written and shared just a few so far in the introductions, and I always strive to get on the witness stand and share as much as possible when I can. So these are the three main questions that are asked. Now, I would say one of the top questions that the ministers always consistently ask over the years is, people want to know, how can they find their purpose? They always want to know from the minister how to find their purpose, believers included. That's one of the consistent questions consistently over the years that the minister has answered, and he's never answered them the same way. Never. So all praise is due to Allah. So we pray that everybody will get your daily bread and feed from the book. And if you would be so kind to get some and share them with others and spread them, it will really, 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 really make us happy. All praise due to Allah.
I think that's a semi-great place to end on time.
Yeah.
Because the Liberated Sisters is known for going a little bit over, but Sister Donna, thank Allah, and thank you both for that. Brother Sultan, can we all just give some gratitude? Applause to Brother Sultan for being such a great host. Brother Sultan, I appreciate you
Praise
so
be to
much.
Allah. Great job.
Yeah, always. I do have the clip that you and Brother spoke about, the Beethoven concerto, the excerpt that you have there. So let's have a round of closing remarks, and then that is how we will close out the show today. And don't forget, you guys, I'll give you 2 more minutes with the Liberated Sisters discount. Connect with Brother Abdul Kiam wherever you are. He'll let me know. But it has to be in social media right now during the show. So
Right.
thank you very much. Your closing remarks both, and then I'll close out.
I just want to
I'll
thank
go
you
first
for
so we can end up. No, we end up with you. Let me go first.
yes, sir.
I want the people to look at you and to see you also, brother. It is a blessing to have heard from you in your experience. It is a blessing from Allah to know that in what He has given us, He's up night and day thinking of what else He can do to help us, to save us, to bring us up into the mind of God. So when you come as a witness of that kind of love, and you mention His heart, and I think of the Sacred Heart, that's with the wrong color Jesus, but they got to Jesus with His heart that comes outside of His body. Have you ever seen that, the Sacred
Yes,
Heart?
absolutely.
He has exposed His heart. So close out on that.
Yes, sir. I heard recently the minister said, I can't give you all my heart, but I can give you the means by which you can have and become and have a heart like mine.
My.
So by the grace of Allah, through His blessed word, His example, we have the opportunity to have a heart like Him. And I pray that we all will accept the call to the fusion that He said at the end of Savior's Day, that we are all being invited by God to that fusion.
Yes, sir.
And I pray that we all will strive to accept that by letting Him in and accept this mind and let this mind be in you, the same that is in Christ Jesus, which is the mind that's in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So we thank our beloved minister for his example, his love, and his heart. And all I to thank our First Lady, Mother Khadijah Farrakhan, for her love and example and sacrifice, and the entire Farrakhan family and the Muhammad family, two suffering families who have laid the foundation that we strive to stand on. We just honored to just strive to serve in this nation. So I thank you all for a wonderful, joyous, spirited time tonight. I've been liberated. I'm a liberated brother now, brother.
That's right.
Me too. That's why I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar. I only came in. I didn't mean to make you smaller in the screen, but to say yes. Thank Allah for Mother Khadijah, Farrakhan, and the Farrakhan family. Thank you for adding that, Brother Abdul Kiam. Because as we know, for without her, we would not have a nation. But just thank you for consistently doing that. And also lifting up each of us. Brother Sultan, your family, Abdul Kiam, your family, the viewing audience, our executive council and their family. The list goes on and on and on. So thank you both. I will let you both be excused. I'll try to run some of the comments during the closing theme song. But right now, we're going to go ahead and hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And just one thing. That'll be it. I'll also show we have part 2. I know, right, Brother Sultan? It's like she's always going on. We have part 2 from Student Minister Ishmael Muhammad this Sunday. So I'll display that flyer as well. So thank you both on behalf of Liberated Sisters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Everybody stay right there, please. I want to show this. Let me show the flyer first. This is a reminder here. Look at that. Volume 3A and 3B. And so until the show closes out, DM or connect with Brother Abdul Kiam wherever he is in social media. And type in Liberated Sisters for your 10% discount on the book, as well as we have this coming up on this Sunday. I wish it could be a little bit bigger, but this is The Great War, Part 2, the final chapter. This will be delivered by Student Minister Ishmael Muhammad, Brother Minister Farrakhan, Student Minister Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's National Assistant. And the Muslim program, right on the back page of the Final Call newspaper. You can also go to noi.org for that. And so with that, let us